I started with these protests from El Paso to Brownsville, and what we are going to have is a new market of 24-foot ladders, because as you build it, they'll get a bigger ladder for it and make it easier to get across. It is proven that even as your neighbor, you do not put up a fence without consulting with your neighbor. It is a proven fact that what we need is a system that will allow them to come into the state, to register. We have to have a system that we document and that we allow them to work in the state, where the Mexican Council turns someone over to the American Council, and then we give them right back to them at the end of 10 months. We have given too much to divide us in the manner that they're trying to do.
This may be our last chance to challenge the process, to get our comments into the record. So I'm excited. I appreciate everybody who came out tonight. They left work, they left their families, and they're going to have an impact, and that's what we wanted to say. Obviously, when you got that many people showing up, at a rally and coming down and testifying, it catches your attention, and that's what we wanted to do. We tried to keep it as broad as possible and keep everybody in the tent and part of the process, and I think it worked. I think this is one of those situations that was unifying, that people agreed on. Let's oppose it, and then when you get into the details, then each person can, when they gave their testimony, can get into the details and do things as they saw fit.
We should build friendships, not walls.
Well, I'm here to support all my neighbors and to have them support me as we oppose this amazing and astounding and atrocious idea of building a wall around our community. I would say not everybody. Actually, some of them are probably not very aware yet. And some of the people who come from up north are not too, but most of the people from up north have already grown to love the valley, and they love the culture. Even I'd say something like 98% of our people would say this is atrocious. It's just a god-awful idea.
And your message?
Well, actually, what I told her, they're talking about the environment. I said, of course, we're concerned with the physical environment, obviously, but even worse, you're going to put poison into the spiritual environment that's going to last for generations. We'll have grandchildren years from now who will still be bitter and resentful, be cynical about the government because of the way they bulldozed in and took away their granddaddy's ranch and put up a wall that nobody wanted. You're going to lose the relationship. We try to teach these kids to respect the government, and the government is here to protect us, and now the government is taking over like a Nazi government. So we don't care what you think, we're going to do this anyway. The government will listen to us and come to their senses, and that this terrible idea really won't take place. It's kind of like a nightmare. Just praying that we'll look. What Father Jerry said is, if they do build it, did you hear him say that a while ago? He said if they do build it, one of these days at least we'll have the satisfaction of saying, if you had only listened to us, when we realize what a terrible fiasco it is.
Our consolation, I guess, is that a few years down the road, we'll be able to say, if you would have just listened to us.
What we want to tell them is that this wall is not going to do anybody any good. It's not going to stop immigration. It's not going to stop anything. The only thing is dividing two countries, one culture. There's so many more important issues that can be used, money instead of the wall. So that's what we're trying to tell the politicians.